Jeez, hello and welcome to the team call. Ellen just told me, are you recording? And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, my team would have been so upset. Thank you so much. So anyhow, welcome to the call, March 22nd. Super excited to have you here. I'm gonna go ahead and restart just a little bit. Ellen and I met at a market council dinner. If you don't know what that is, that's just a place where local coaches, the top coaches in your state kind of meet up. So she comes in, she's busting out tattoos everywhere. I don't have one tat. I'm like a tattoo virgin. And so I was like, but my brother has tats all over his body, like from like neck to like whatever. So it doesn't scare me or anything. Some people are like, oh, whatever. But I just loved her personality. She is vivacious. She's super. Can you shut the door, please? Thank you. She's kind of soft-spoken when you first meet her, but she's super intelligent. She's super kind. She's super sweet. And I have not met a nicer person. I'm going to punch someone right now that is beating on the door right now. That would be my daughter. Good thing I'm not talking tonight. But she is super kind-hearted. And like I said before, she's a master trainer. Master trainers in this business are very much respected. They go across the country. I don't know how far you travel, but she goes to different states and she trains people, and she trains in so many different things. I know that, like, for example, at Super Saturday, she leads most of our workouts. She's on the stage. She's teaching people how to teach other people, which is an art in itself. She does an amazing job with it. She kicks your butt. She expects a lot out of you when you're up there, but she makes you work towards your potential. She is such a sweet person. I'm so blessed to have her on the call. So she was a premier coach 3 years ago. Then she was an elite coach. Then she was an elite coach. So if you know anything about this business, you know that premier and elite are something that you try to aim for. They're success leaves clues, and those are the things that you are trying to push for in this business, especially if you want to build a strong foundation for your team. She's 7-star lifetime. She's the top master trainer in the Western region. Like I said, it's such a treat that we have her on this call because she has a lot of her time is spent traveling and doing things for other people and doing this stuff and getting ish done. And she has kids, and she's married and just has a life outside of Beachbody. Okay. I don't know what the talent team is. She'll probably tell you that. I have no idea what that is, but I know she's part of it. Oh, wait, she explained it to me. Meaning she's in the videos. You're in the videos for Insanity or all the videos? Unmute yourself. Let me see.
I am a master trainer for Insanity, but I'm only talent team. In other words, videos for P90X and PIO. So if anyone...
And are those the training videos that get sent out to the certification people? Okay.
All the people that teach those formats live, if they're on your team.
Okay.
Recognize.
Okay. So if you teach PIO or you are certified in PIO, she'll be on the training video that you get. Okay. And she's been a coach since 2012. I did her call on Monday. It was super fun to have her team on the call.
A lot of fun.
And I am really excited and honored to hand her over to you. She has a way with her that's very, it's sweet, but it's like getting it done. Like you'll hear right away that just her personality is just so fun to be around, and I've been super blessed to be her friend. And I'm so happy that she's part of Oregon because every time we do Super Saturday, I get crushed in the workouts and then I cry. The last time I was on stage, because she needed Insanity certified, and that's the only thing I'm certified in. I literally started tasting blood, and I was like, my lungs hurt. This is ridiculous. Anyhow, because she whips your butt. She's about the most in shape, ripped person you have ever. Not that that matters. That's just a side note. She's going to be like, yeah, because she's like the most humble person you know. But talk about hard work. Definitely hard work. And she puts a lot of time into that. So, all right, without further ado, Ellen, I'm so excited that you can be on this call. And I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Sounds good, you guys. I'm really glad that Kiana said that it's good to hear from other coaches, because I think it's really true that sometimes we just say things differently. And in some ways, because Kiana is either your direct upline or some upline wouldn't be on her team call, it's kind of in some ways like she has a parental role. And sometimes it's nice to hear things from people that aren't our parents. I'm glad she left the room when I said that. So I feel the same way though. Like, I feel like sometimes my coaches really need to hear stuff from other people. And I can say the same thing over and over, and I'm not saying it in a way that is going to resonate with all of them. So I'm going to tell you guys my story. She gave you a little overview of it, but I'm going to kind of just talk to you guys about who I am and why I ended up doing this and how I've gotten to where I've gotten, even though success is, of course, really relative. I want to explain that. And so I'm going to feather my story into 8 points. So I hope you have pen and paper and can take notes on this call tonight. So first, like Kiana said, I'm a wife. I'm in my second marriage. First one didn't work out so well. And I have 3 kids that are basically grown. I mean, they are 19, 17, and those guys are almost 20 and 18, and then a 16-year-old. So I have 3 teenagers driving, and I have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and we have a bearded dragon. I love animals. I live in Oregon. I don't know if you guys are, can I just see your hands? Are you West Coast or are you all over? Who's West Coast? Oh, so only a couple of you. Oh, I know, Michelle. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. So are we in different time zones? Probably. Okay. In 2012, I was a fitness instructor and teaching different formats, Beachbody Live stuff that wasn't really around yet. I was teaching PiYo, but it wasn't a Beachbody Live format. It had nothing to do with Beachbody. It was like a powder blue thing, and I taught PiYo, but I taught other things. And you don't get really any money. Sorry to like de-romanticize the group fitness, but you don't really make much money teaching other than enough money to maybe buy some new cute shoes and some cute clothes. So I also directed the program, meaning I like hired and fired and trained the instructors for this local gym. It was a 24-hour fitness at the time. And that actually didn't pay very well either. Those are sort of like jobs you do as a labor of love. So without giving all the details, this was like in, well, it was 2012, but when the economy crashed in 2009, our family's economy also crashed. So we were not even living paycheck to paycheck, as they say, because we couldn't even pay for our mortgage. So we weren't even paycheck. Like paycheck to paycheck would have been great. We were not even able to pay for our mortgage, like shelter. So needless to say, my kids were young then. I had humongous anxiety about that, about finances. It was a tremendous strain on our marriage. And I was really desperate and really looking for an opportunity to make income. Keep in mind, throughout this call, please, that I didn't graduate college. I'm really only good at a couple of things. Neither of those things pay the bills. And didn't have any business savvy, didn't have any like skills to speak of, and didn't know what to do. So one of my instructors that taught cycle for me was a rep for a different network marketing company. I liked this girl a lot. I thought she was super fun, a nice, honest young woman, and she made a good amount of money doing her business, the kind of income that I needed. And my husband was out of work at the time, I believe. So I like met with her. You know how we will like meet with people to talk about our business? I like met with her. I took home all these pamphlets and I was like, I'm going to do this thing. And it was in skincare. And I was like, oh, like my stomach hurt all the time. And I was like about it with anxiety. And I was like, I don't really I'm not excited about this at all, but I don't know what else to do. I can't go get a 9-to-5 job as what? A coffee barista, like with 3 young kids? It doesn't make sense. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to work. I'm going to do this home business so I can be a available mom, because I've always wanted to be with my kids. So that night, I decided to get on Facebook. Now I had zero Facebook savvy, none. In fact, I didn't even know like I needed to log out of my husband's account and sign into mine. I did not do Facebook. But I log on, mind you, I had been praying for months that God would help me, show me, help me. Like we're drowning, literally. I felt like we were drowning in debt and anxiety. So I go on Facebook, and this woman who had been in my life for years, who lives in Idaho, posted a picture, a before and after picture. This is important, you guys. I have a reason for telling you all this backstory. She posted a results picture from doing the Ultimate Reset. Now, this woman, this is important. I knew enough about her to know that she was a very honest woman. I knew that she was a really, really good mom, that we shared a belief system. She's someone like I'm in Oregon, she's in Idaho. She was my master trainer for Cycle for 24-hour fitness. So she was super fit. She knew nutrition better than anyone I know. And so just seeing this like post from someone who had credibility in my eyes, I was like, what the heck is the Ultimate Reset? And why would someone as fit as her be doing a cleanse? And I was like, I mean, it stopped me in my tracks. And I reached out to her about it. And she told me about the business. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? You mean this is a business like the one I was just about to enroll with, only that's skincare, and this is fitness? This is helping people with their fitness? I was like, I'm in. And I'm in. We were not paying for our mortgage, you guys. We didn't have enough money. We didn't. So weirdly, I was paying for like my phone bill and the garbage bill and the utility bill and, food, but we just didn't have enough to pay Bank of America for our mortgage. So we were losing our home. And we did lose our home, by the way, but we were losing our home. And so I only tell you that because some people say I can't afford Shakeology. And I, with my husband's support, when we could not pay for our mortgage because there was not enough dollars at the end of the month, I paid for Shakeology and I enrolled as a coach. I paid my dues and I've never turned off auto shipment. So I chose to have faith in this because I knew I was going to give it every ounce of my being when we literally couldn't afford it. So I don't take that as an excuse from anyone. So I dove in. I took that massive amount of anxiety in my stomach that sat in there, and I used it to fuel me to work hard. Now, that wonderful woman that I was just telling you about, who's my upline, she has money. So does her husband. She didn't have the same needs that I did, and her upline didn't work the business, and her upline's upline didn't work the business, and her upline's upline was Christine Dwyer, who didn't have time for me or know who I was. So I was solo. And I was like, okay, I had a conversation with myself. If I need this, and I need it more than my upline does, and I'm willing to give it more time and energy than she does, and that's not a slight against her. It's just we're all different. I got to figure this thing out by myself. And that's what I did. So when I didn't know what I was doing, but I did the Coach Basics Academy in the Coach Online office back then, and I printed the little certificate when I completed it, and I emailed it to my upline. And one day, I was driving to California to do a master training certification. And I got a phone call from a 310 area code. And I was like, that's like California. That's like Santa Monica. That must be my boss. because I'm a master trainer for Beachbody. So that must be my boss calling because I'm going to an event. Like, I wonder what's wrong. I wonder why she'd be calling me about this event. I better get it. So I answer the phone even though I'm driving my car. And it wasn't her. It was the corporate sales team at Team Beachbody. It was Keyshawn Graves. So if you don't know who that is, at the time it was the regional sales, blah, 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 from the West Coast. And she's like, Ellen! She's a total spaz. And she's like, Ellen! I'm like, who is this? And she's like, you're so close to being an elite coach. You just need one more diamond. And can you do it? Can you do it? There's 6 weeks left. I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what elite means. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know. So anyway, I didn't hit elite. I didn't get that one more diamond in those 6 weeks. And that's why that year I ended as a premier coach. Couple of things. I'm going to stop myself right here. Couple of things about my upline and why I stopped in my scroll on Facebook. One, it was because she showed a transformation picture. That's eye-catching. 2, she had credibility in my eyes. I trusted. She could have told me to go buy, whatever shake she would have told me to buy, I would have bought because I have that much respect for her. And I want you to know that there's people out there that desperately need this. And I was one of them. And there's more out there than me. And it was just an answer to prayer in my life that I got on Facebook one day, even though I never got on. And I found someone. And there's people out there. And, you know, they can be hard to find, but they are out there. We just have to keep showing up. Back to Keyshawn Greaves calling me. I learned that elite points are kind of the love language of corporate, and that it is very important to connect to corporate. And so, one, I want you to be connected to I want you to know who your corporate sales team is in your region. You guys already said you're from different regions, and Kiana can give you you can look it up in your FAQs all by yourself, actually. You're welcome. But know who they are. Know if you have regional pages, Facebook pages, and be liking all of their stuff. Be connected to them. And know that connecting to corporate is a sign of leadership, and it will help you as they get to know you. And the better you do, the more attention they give you, and it becomes kind of a snowball thing. Okay, so I'm going to get into the heart of my call right now, and I have 8 points, and I'm going to have to talk a whole lot quicker. But I first want to introduce myself. The first point, and they all start with the letter R, just because I'm a nerd, is reduce. So the first point with the letter R is reduce to the basics. The reason I became a premier, almost an elite coach in 2014 is because I was doing home workouts. I was trying to hit Success Club. I was drinking Shakeology. I was running challenge groups. I was doing personal development. I was inviting people to my challenge groups every single month, even if they sucked. I was doing it all. I was going to live events. I was doing the basics. So when then I got on, and that's how I did it. That's how I did it. So the next year, you guys, I did hit elite. And I didn't understand the elite program still because I'm not crazy smart. And it's like Greek. There's like 3 categories, and one of them is like annual TV, and there's all these categories. Now there's 4 categories. I didn't understand how to do it, and you don't need to. You just need to do the basics. You just need to do the vital behaviors. And when I started meeting with Brittany Adamson, the then sales manager for my region that following year, she taught me that all you had to do to be an elite coach was hit Success Club, recruit new coaches, and then teach those guys how to hit Success Club. You have to do all 3. Can't leave off that last one. You've got to hit Success Club. You've got to recruit new people, and you've got to teach them how to do what you're doing. And so that's what I did. She also told me to flip my activities on their head, because I was spending more time doing the fun stuff that I love, like talking to my team and all my coaches and doing graphics. I was doing all kinds of fun stuff. And she told me to turn that on its head if I wanted to be an elite coach. And so I did. I did the stuff. I did inviting, because inviting is, to me, the really hard part of our business, and the uncomfortable part. And I want to liken it to fitness. So when we have bad form, when we're exercising, it's really classic that our body is just trying to find a way to make exercise easier. And our body and mind, it's a sneaky little devil. So if we're doing a bicep curl and we swing our elbows forward while we're doing a bicep curl, we actually staging our shoulders instead of just our biceps. And so we're actually helping our biceps out. We're cheating, and we're making it easier. When we do a push-up and we drop our head down and stick our butt up in the air a little bit, and we think we're working really hard, and we think, wow, look at me, I'm doing all these push-ups. We're actually in bad form, and A, we could risk injury, but B, our body's just trying to make it easier. We're trying to get to the bottom of our range quicker. So we drop our head. We're trying to shorten our lever length of our body so it's not as hard to do. So we pike our butt up in the air. It's classic. You give me an exercise and I'll tell you what we do as human beings to try to cheat that exercise. We are exactly like that with this business, you guys. We are exactly like that. We use crappy form and bad technique, and we risk injury. We risk quitting. We risk burnout. We risk sucking at it. We risk not doing it right because we want it to be easier. And we can tell ourselves, that person that's doing a push-up with their head down and their butt up a little bit, that person can tell themselves that they're doing push-ups and they're working out and they're working hard and they're getting their workout in. Look at them. They did all these push-ups. But really, they weren't in good form, so they're not getting much out of the move and their time. We do the same thing with this business. If we're not in good form, meaning spending our time in inviting. My dog is crying behind, and I don't know why. I fed him. He probably needs to go poop, but he's just going to have to hold it because I'm in the middle of a team call. Okay. So, reduce to the basics. Next point, reshape your thoughts. I began to see Success Club as my job. That's my job. And so I would play little psychological games with myself, like, hold on a second. I'm going to ask my son to help take care of my dog. I'm going to yell, so let me mute myself.
Hey, for those of you who are on right now and you don't have your video on, it's because the Zoom had a new update, and you have to literally turn your video on. So it's on the bottom left-hand corner. It says start video, stop video. So start the video so that we can see your lovely, beautiful faces, because I see that Sarah and Amanda are on, but they're not. I can't see your faces, which is fine if you want to be muted and you're doing, thank you. There you go. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm just letting you know that's an option, and I didn't realize that the first couple times I did it after they updated that you have to click it on. Okay. Done. Okay,
I'm easily distracted, and I love my dogs, and he's crying behind the computer, but I don't know. I just texted my kids because they can't hear me. Okay, so I played mental games with myself. So I would be like, if I want to have a cup of coffee, if I want to have a cup of coffee at 3:00 today, I won't let myself have a cup of coffee until I have done everything I can to move me towards Success Club that month. If I want to go take a shower. Didn't have to be a big thing. Not let myself do other things. And I put basically this business first, not talking first above my family. I mean, just first in front of all the things in my day. It's that eat that frog mentality, I guess. Okay, this is what I want you to consider. We need to be adding to our network. We are network marketers. It's a weird way to think of ourselves sometimes, but that's what we are. We are network marketers, we are growing a network. So we have to be growing our network. That means if you're on Facebook, obviously, but Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever, you're getting more eyes on you every single month. We all know that, right? And by the way, if you're a new coach, I do hope to have stuff for you tonight. And if you've been around for a while and you have a big team, I hope to have stuff for you tonight in this content for all levels. But hopefully you all know we should be adding to our network all the time so we have more eyeballs on us every single month. Okay? We should be sharing in an attractive way. Attractive doesn't mean size 2 and pretty. It means in a magnetic way, in a way that has credibility, in an attractive way. That's what I mean by attractive way. We should be sharing our stories, our daily stories, and how this opportunity or our products are bettering our lives. And we need to be asking people to join us, okay? So we all know that. But I want you to consider it and just look at it a little bit differently today. If you're stagnating in this business, it could be as simple as just one piece missing. So let's look at it. Let's pretend you add to your network 3 people a day, 5 people, whatever. You've got a few new Snap followers, a few new Instagram followers every day, a few new Facebook followers every day. At the end of the month, you've got new eyes on you. Let's assume you're storytelling and sharing in an attractive way. Okay? So you got that part right too. But let's just say that last piece is missing and you're just not asking people to join you. You're not asking them to link arms. You're not asking them to do it. You're not giving calls to action. You're not doing that invite thing. You're going to stagnate. Now, let's take a different piece of that off. Let's pretend that you are adding to your network all the time, more eyes on you every month, and you are asking people to join you. You are inviting, but you're not sharing in a way that is attractive, credible, and kind of magnetic. So maybe it's in the way that you're presenting yourself. Let's take a different piece off. Let's say you present yourself really well in an attractive manner consistently. And let's say you're asking for people to join you. But what if you're never adding people? Your network isn't really growing, not considerably, not significantly. That means the same people every single month are reading your invites. They've already seen it. They already know if and when they're ready, they're going to come to you, or they already have come to you. So if one of those pieces is missing, we will stop growing and we will stagnate. Let's move on to the next R. Refine your inner circle. And I know so many of these points you've heard before. Jim Rohn says it. You guys have heard it, that we are the sum total of the 5 people we surround ourselves most with economically, in every way. And we need to fiercely guard that. A couple of examples. When I talk to my husband, dogs are going crazy. When I talk to my husband, he and I both, we like to use like new words and like big words sometimes. And we were laying in bed talking when I was preparing this call, and before I prepared this call, and he said a word, and like just a couple minutes later, it was a weird word. I don't remember what it was. I wish I do right now. But a couple minutes later, I said the same word. I'm sorry. It's my dogs. There's probably like deer in our front yard. I said the same word. I just because I'm influenced by him, because I sound like him and he sounds like me. And then I voice memo a lot of my coaches, and I noticed, and I sometimes have to play those messages back. Let me see what's going on here. I have to play those messages back, and I couldn't even tell my coach from me apart. I couldn't tell us apart. I don't know what they're barking at. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know. So it's because we rub off on each other. So refine your inner circle. And then reset your expectations. Let me try to take care of my dogs here.
It's totally okay, Ellen. Usually it's my 3-year-old, so they get it. Usually I have to. One time I had a bloody nose in the middle of a random walk. It just started bleeding down my face, and I'm like, what is going on? Okay, so you're totally fine. If you need a minute or so, you're totally fine.
Okay. I can't let them out without going out there, or because I have to have one of my kids do it, and I can't get a hold of my kids right now. Okay, I'm going to try to plug along. That might continue to happen. So number 4 is reset expectations. And it's funny because Kiana said some of these same things to my team on Monday night. It's scary how, as we get proficient at social media and filters, let me call my daughter.
Smile, everyone, because it shows you what real life is about. And I love it.
My teenagers are great.
It makes me kind of happy.
No, I know. Usually my teenagers are great. It's the dogs. Like, I can't, like most of my coaches have little kids and they can't, there's always babies crying. For me, it's my dogs. Okay. Anyway, it's just, I have a hard time focusing. And so they're just distracting me. I know you guys don't care that I'm a hot mess. It's just that I'm distracted by their barking. Okay. So, it is scary how perfect looking other coaches can be. Like, it's really, really, like, I have the best filters. I can make it look like I have no pores and no wrinkles. I'm serious. And I'm not alone in that. It's tricks of the trade we learn as coaches. And a lot of the top coaches have professional photos and profile pictures that make them look like they just are dripping in gold and have perfect hair and teeth. And it's intimidating. It's just flat intimidating. And it's really hard not to compare. And when I went to the New Leader Conference and Melanie Mitro talked about how she runs her business, I was like, this is not for me. I'm in the wrong, like, what have I done? I put all my eggs in this coaching basket. I am clearly not cut out for this. I am never going to be able to write a blog and have a what do you call them? Virtual assistant, like, disseminated into like this many Facebook posts and this many Instagram posts and this and all this. I write my prospects' names on the back of my hand and then I go write them in my calendar. Like Kiana said, she doesn't know how to. I have coaches that are like that are like Melanie Mitro. They're gifted in that way, and that would resonate with them. But for me, it made me want to slip my wrist. Like, this is not something to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then Trina Gray came on and she talked, and they're awesome. It's just that there's so many different ways to skin this cat. And when we start comparing, it just like paralyzes the life out of us. And it's really discouraging to compare. We know our faults. We know how crappy we are at stuff. And all we're doing is comparing that to what we see externally of someone else. It's like, the problems in your marriage, because every marriage is two human beings. So every marriage, it's hard to be married. And so it's not wise to compare your marriage to like some other marriage where you just see the outside of it. It's the same thing with coaching. It's really, really destructive. And so I will tell you guys this. It just takes those vital behaviors and a lot of elbow grease. And it doesn't matter if I can tell, like after Monday night, I can tell Kiana really is a hot mess. Like I've heard her talk about being a hot mess mom, and I'm like, oh, she wasn't kidding. She's a hot mess mom. I love it. That's my kind of cup of tea. But where there's just so many different ways, like so many different ways to do this. Okay, so let's move on. And this might tie into kind of me talking about doing the vital behaviors. It might be a little bit redundant, but I want to give it its own category anyway. It is revisit results. Okay, so this can be, this is something I addressed with my team, and frankly, I had to address it with myself a little bit. Fitness business, a fitness and nutrition business. And we need to be continually working on our personal fitness. And that, again, doesn't mean size 4, doesn't mean you need to, it doesn't mean your goal body or anything like that. But we did decide that we wanted to do this. And so part of having credibility and in belief, remember one of the reasons I was like stopped on that scroll with my now upline is because she had credibility to me as someone who would know what they were talking about when it comes to fitness and health. And that is essential, you guys. That's part of when I asked you if you're sharing in a way that is credible and magnetic and attractive and consistent. That credibility piece is actually pretty huge. And it doesn't mean, you can be overweight and still very successful because you're working on yourself. You can have, injuries that you're struggling with, chronic ones that you're always going to struggle with, as long as you are working on them. And, some people are ridiculously fit and they're like genetic anomalies, people like that. And they're freakish. They're like, an anomaly. And even those people that are coaches that have arrived, like they're in peak physical condition. Like I think of like Danielle Necroni, peak physical condition. Those abs cannot get any more chiseled. Even she has to maintain that and use our products and programs to maintain that. And that gives her credibility with what we do. So this can be a hard point. It's definitely one that I needed to really address with my own team is we as human beings have this stinking nature in us to become apathetic and to become mediocre and to take our foot off the gas. We're humans and we have to fight that in ourselves. And we have to continue to have, if we're not at our peak, if we haven't arrived and we're not in maintenance mode, we have to continue to have before and after pictures and to show that this stinking stuff we do works. We have to. We chose this. We didn't choose mascara. We didn't choose leggings. We didn't choose wine. We didn't choose skincare. We chose health and fitness, and we have to make that, we have to be credible in that. Not perfect body, but working on our outside and inside. We talk a lot about PD. Kiana talked a lot about PD to my team, and that was awesome. Working on the inside and mindset. But we also have to work on our outside too. It's just the business that we signed up for. And it will help with, it'll help give your business a boost with if and when you start to stagnate. Is just commit to a new before and after picture. Every once in a while when I'm like, my success goal points are just like, not as, I need a new before and after picture. New before and after picture. The silver lining to how hard it is to be fit, the silver lining to that uphill battle that most of us, especially I think us women, struggle with. I shouldn't say that. It's not just women, it's everybody. The silver lining for us in the struggle is that it is uphill and we always need to be working on it. So it's, You can do before and after pictures, and then unfortunately after a fun weekend, need another one. All right, let's move on. Next point, refocus your lens. Let me look at the time. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up. Refocus your lens. So this business is everything but instant gratification. I don't know what to do about my dogs. I feel like I'm gonna let them out, and then I'm gonna risk them not coming back. Let me see what's going on out there. Because this point is probably one of the best points I have all night. And I just don't, I'm gonna go take you on a tour of my house. Hold on a second. Jess? Oh, he's asleep. That's why he didn't answer the phone when I called. I bet she's asleep too.
All the teenagers are asleep.
Both my kids are asleep. That's why I was calling them and they weren't answering. They're asleep, you guys. Oh, I'm going to let my dogs out. Kiana, hopefully they return tonight. There they go. Okay. We live in the country, and there's like wild turkey and deer, and I have hunting dogs. Okay. We don't hunt, but anyway, okay. This is one of my most important points. This business takes a long time and a lot of work to build. And if you're new, or you're not new and you haven't been consistent, or you're not where you're at, oh my gosh, I'm a zoo. I'm a zoo. I'm seriously, I'm a zoo. One thing I did right when I decided to do this is I somehow knew that I somehow understood the compound effect idea, and that just takes a really long time. I understood that inherently. And so I was able to, I had belief that I could become successful. That's important. That's critical, because if you doubt that, your longevity is at risk. And I did believe that it was possible to make the kind of income and have financial security that I was needing with this opportunity. I also knew it was going to take a long time. So I was able to fix my eyes on the horizon of this business. And I'm telling you what, you guys, you have to do that. My daughter, when she was born, the one that's asleep right now, I saw something when she was in the hospital when she was born in her eyes, and it was like a couple of little white specks that looked like they were on her pupils. And when her eyes, you know how a newborn can barely open their eyes. And I know I got to wrap up really quickly here, but when her eyes would move about the hospital room just barely, like the reflections from the lights overhead would stay fixed. So her eyes would move, the reflections from the lights wouldn't move, but these two little white spots that I saw, they would move with her eye. So I was like, whatever that is, it's like in her eye. It's like something's in her eye. So I asked the pediatrician and they didn't know. And they're like, yeah, we're going to refer you to like an ophthalmologist, a specialist in Portland. And so we took her to the Casey Eye Institute as a newborn, as an infant, and we found out that she had congenital cataracts. Not the kind of cataracts that a dog gets or someone elderly often, that's like a milky white cloudy that covers that's like creates like an opacity, but they're called anterior polar cataracts. So it's a very small little white cataract that was stuck to the lens of the eye, one in each eye. And I was like, what does that mean? You know? And they're like, well, they're visually insignificant. She can see them, but they're visually insignificant. So unless they grow, we're not going to do surgery because they're less than 3 millimeters in circumference. So I was like, what do you mean? Like, this sounds so horrible. Cataracts? Like, she's a newborn in her eye. This sounds awful. And he said, it's like if you were to put your fingers out and you can see them with your eyes. Like, you can look at your two fingers and see that they're there. And then you can actually, your eye, while you have those two fingers there, it can actually see past them. And then the two fingers actually go double. So then it looks like you have double vision, but your eye adapts to and so the eyeball and the brain can see the image. Like, light can come around the two fingers and it can see the whole image. And he's like, that's how she'll always see. And I'm like, that's horrible. And he's like, no, she'll never know any better. That's how she's born. She'll never know seeing other than this. She'll never know seeing other than, but her brain will figure it out, and her eyes will figure it out, and she'll see fine. She'll read, she'll see fine. So I thought about that analogy in terms of this business and how we have stuff. We've got cataracts in the way, stuff. We've got challenge groups that run poorly, where people quit or they don't talk, or we have coaches that quit. We have so many people that tell us no. We have paychecks that are $14. We have months where we don't hit Success Club. We have times where we compare ourselves to others. We've got this stuff that like is in the foreground, and we have to see past it and have that anchored belief out in the horizon so that we continue to see the whole picture and the big picture. And so otherwise you get sick. I literally, like, you get sick. I was thinking about how I get car sick when I look at my phone in the car, or when I am looking inside the car, or when I'm even looking close to the car, like the trees that whip by on the outside of right outside of my window, I get car sick. But if I can just like look at the mountain or look at the skyline that isn't moving so much, I'm not sick to my stomach anymore. And I would compare that to this business too. You have to have these lenses. Refocus your lens, this almost last point tonight, on the horizon and the far off. And you're not going to be able to do it if you don't believe that you can. Okay. So redo regardless is my 7th of 8 points. This is a really quick point. There's things that I have redone and redone and redone. It's like rinse, wash, and repeat. It's like brushing our teeth. They are running challenge groups. I have never not run them since I started. Some of them have been pretty lame. I listen to the National Wake Up Call, whether I'm in the mood for it or not, and I'm always glad I did. You know how that goes. It's a non-negotiable. I've gone to every single Super Saturday. I've gone to every single Coach Summit, and I've gone to other live events in between Coach Summit and Super Saturdays. I try to hit Success Club every single month. I redo those things regardless. Challenge groups, Success Club, National Wake Up Calls, live events, has nothing to do with whether I feel like it or not. If I worked out when I felt like it, you guys, I would literally never work out. If I, only did this business when I felt like it, I wouldn't be where I'm at. It's just a commitment. It's a choice of the will that I made and was going to stick to no matter what. And I think those are important traits to have. I meant to say something on an earlier point, but probably the dogs were barking. I think it was on the Don't Be Perfect, talking about perfection. I wanted to tell you guys that I'm not a Success Club All-Star or Legend. I'm embarrassed to say that as a 2-time elite coach. I try for it every month. I am, as of 2016, a 6-figure earner. But I've only made 11 months in a row, and then I've done what I've called thrown a gutter ball. So I just say that to say that you don't have to be perfect. Sometimes throw gutter balls. Okay. My last point is more for those of you that are already kind of in leadership roles and you're team building and you're recruiting and you're onboarding. I'm not sure what your systems are on your team, how you do it. I love the new First 30 thing. Hopefully you've looked into that and know what I'm talking about. But I want to tell you something that I've learned, and this last R is regenerate. You guys have to save yourselves. So all 7 of my diamonds would be diamond. Had nothing to do with me. They just wanted it and they went for it. My success has nothing to do with my uplines. I passed her in the business. God, I thank God for her all the time. She gave me life in this business, and she's an amazing woman who had different goals than me. So this is not a slight against her. I owe her so much gratitude. But I passed her a long time ago. So this has nothing to do with your upline. It has nothing to do. It's just, so when you're onboarding, you guys, this is my last point. It's more for the leaders. Save yourself, invest. And Kiana, maybe she doesn't agree with me on this, but I would say invest about 90 days, hold hands for like maybe 90 days, get them really get them going in the right direction. But for the love of God, if they can't call Coach Relations or search out something in their FAQs after 90 days, you need to move on and be giving your energy to someone else. You have to regenerate or you'll become weary in this business. You have to take some downtime. I ask my team to try to take Sundays off. That's just me. I don't know what you guys do about that, but I just think there should be a day. She says yes. I think there should be a day of rejuvenation. Just like when we lift weights, our body needs to resynthesize energy on a cellular level. Like if we're lifting or jumping or cycling or whatevering, your muscles have to replenish their ATP or they can't fire. And our body, I swear our business is just like our body. You have to have a down day. You have to like recover a little bit or you'll get burnt out and you'll be weary. And you can work really hard in this business and not be weary. You can work really hard and keep it joyful. So, I was just going to say that 90-day thing for you leaders. Give yourself, mentor, and then know that if they really want it, they're going to run with it. And if they haven't run with it by 90 days, maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't. I went to an event called Platinum Edge. That's part of the organization, Christine Dwyer. She finally figured out who I was eventually. I went to her live event and one of her speakers said this and it said, the best thing you can do for your team is get a new one. And I was like, oh, that's so mean. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so harsh. And then I was like, no, that is leadership. The best thing you can do for your team is get a new one. Give each of those new people 90 days of your love and hand-holding and mentorship. And by then, you should have a whole new pool. You should have a new pool that you're giving that to. This wasn't part of my planned analogy fest that I've been giving you tonight. I just have thought of it just now. We had a hot tub at my old house and it was constantly like losing. It was like so awesome. But my team is so awesome. This hot tub was so awesome, but it kept losing water due to evaporation. Just like my team loses coaches due to attrition because it's not for everybody. And then sometimes it would get icky around the edges. So we'd have to readjust the chemical balance and he'd have to add water and readjust the chemical balance and add water. And if he didn't, that water would get yucky and it would continue to evaporate. And so this business is just like that. That's recruiting. We have to keep adding water to our hot tub. We have to, otherwise it'll stagnate and get icky and the water level will go down and it won't be awesome inside. It won't be awesome inside. So I'm going to recap and then I'm going to close because I took way too much of your time. Number 1, reduce to the basics. It's literally drink your shake, use our products. I use so much of the performance line. Do your home workouts, do your personal development, recognize your people, your challengers, your coaches, I say go to live events is one of those vital behaviors too, but reduce to the basics. Spend your time on good form. In other words, inviting. Spend your time doing push-ups that hurt, push-ups that don't feel, all the cheating that we do is like scrolling the feed is cheating. Scrolling the feed is doing a push-up with your butt in the air. It is. So get in good form. Get in good form. You'll get more out of your workout, meaning your business time. Number 2, reshape your thoughts. This is the point that I said where I was like, if you're adding to your network, so more people are watching you, and you're sharing in an attractive, credible, consistent way, and you're asking people to join you. If you're doing all those 3 things, your business will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. If it's not growing and growing and growing and growing, then just maybe one of those things is a little off. Maybe you're not asking. Maybe you're not sharing in a credible way. Or maybe you're just not adding to your network so the same people are seeing your stuff every single month. Number 3, refine your inner circle. Fiercely guard it. Get those negative people out. Get them out. Number 4, reset your expectations. So many coaches look like they've got their shit together and that they're perfect, and they don't, and they're not, and none of us are. And so you don't have to be perfect. You just need to try to keep failing forward. Like I said, I have my Success Club legend status is embarrassing for me where I'm at. Kiana's had 65 months in a row. I'm like, I've had 11. Revisit results. That can be like the shock to the water, the shock to the chemicals to get it all healthy again. A shock to your business is get yourself a new before and after picture. Revisit results. We decided to be a fitness business. We did not sign on for mascara or lips or wine or whatever. We decided fitness was our jam. So make it your personal jam. Refocus your lens. Get your eyes fixed on the horizon or you'll get car sick. Fix your eyes on the distance. And then do regardless those things that whether you feel like it or not, national wake up call. Feel like it or not, get your butt to Summit. Feel like it or not, go to Super Saturday. Feel like it or not, run a challenge group. I have to tell you, you always have to go to Summit. Listen, always have to go to Summit. At some point, I felt like I stopped kind of growing at Summit because I kind of felt like I already know the stuff that they're presenting there. But guess what? I need to be there because I want my team to be there. And then some of my coaches now, I know that they're sitting in those lectures and they could give those lectures. But they need to be there because they need their team to be there. So whether you're new and still learning the business and needing to understand it, you have to be at Summit, or whether you're now growing your team, you have to be at Summit. All those things. Redo regardless. Rinse, wash, and repeat. And then finally, more for you leaders, regenerate. Well, for all of you, save yourself. Don't spend an enormous amount of time and energy and resources into your new coaches. If they want it, they're going to take it and run with it. And if they don't, they're not going to. And that's all I've got.
Okay. So Ellen. I was like writing notes vigorously, like all over here. First off, I love that you're real with your dogs going crazy because that's just life. I know it wasn't like what you wanted, and I know that, but I get what you're saying. Like I know it doesn't bother us, but you're like distracted in your brain. You're like, listen, I got these things I want to say. But one of the things that like hit me, I just want to say, I love your R's. That's the teacher in me. I think that I can follow that. That's pretty good. And I love your stories because I feel like your analogies and stories really bring truth to a lot of what you said. This last thing you said about the spa was awesome. The thing you said about your daughter's eyes, I like really, sometimes when these people tell stories, it's just like, boom, I understand it. But what I really love is, I loved a lot of different stuff, but couple things that stood out to me was, when you said reduce to the basics, see, you compared it to fitness and you compared it to doing a crappy push-up versus doing a real push-up. We all know what that means, guys. We get our butt up in the air, like you're like going to cheat it and go halfway down, or you're like not planking, you're doing what I call a butt up. You know, you're just going like, you know, like my son does that. He thinks he can do 50 push-ups and he goes like that. And he does like butt ups. And I'm like, dude, you're not doing anything right now. Sure. Do we need you? Can we? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, but what about Duncan? Okay. Sorry, guys. Side note, my car's in the shop and it's crazy over here. And then I loved how you make it so simple. Like, it's just like, guys, drink your shake, do your homework, do your, you know, products. And one of the things I do want to say is, Ellen, you're so humble. God forbid, 65 Success Clubs, months in a row is okay. That's great. But like, there were so many months that it was like the last day. And there were at least 5 times that I can remember where it was, honestly, I hate to say it, I don't want to say luck, but it was just like that one person just decided, not even in that month that I had been talking to be like, oh, by the way, I ordered. And I feel like sometimes, and I get what you're saying because you have high standards for yourself, but no one here would ever look at you and be like, oh my God, she's an elite coach and she missed Success Club. Wow. She's not elite anymore. You know what I mean? But I love that. And I love when you said, I wrote it down. It was a really good thing. Where was it at? It just was good how you said it. You just said, when you said redo regardless, like, figure it out. Like, you have sucky challenge groups, figure it out. You have it's like a no matter what attitude. Like, and I love that you're coming from a place of, you didn't have money to do this. You figured it out. Like, you didn't wait to have the money in your lap. You didn't wait to have the followers. You didn't wait to have this all together. But one thing that you said that I want to, that I just was like, oh, that's golden, is this has nothing, your success had nothing to do whether or not you felt like doing it. If you only did the business when you felt like it, you would not be where you are. And that is the truth. And I think a lot of successful coaches don't tell people that. They say they wake up every day and I talked a little bit about that on your call, that I used to think coaches lied, because I'd be like, they say they wake up with this fire in the belly. I don't even know what that is. Like, what is this fire in the belly? They lie. These people are lying. You know what I mean? But I love that. And I love that you talked about rejuvenation, because I feel like if you have a pie of your life and Beachbody is 98% of your pie, you are not going to be able to rejuvenate. You are more than Beachbody. You are more than other things in your life. And I love that Ellen put that to a thing. So I'm going to unmute you all real quick, just for a second here. I really want you guys to unmute all. Anyone have any comments, any questions? I know we're going a little long right now, and then we'll get you off the phone, because I know, Sarah, you're in Canada time. She's like, yeah, it's like 11:15 there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Anyone have any questions or any comments?
It was great.
It was great, Alan. Thank you guys so much. I see some new faces on here, so that makes me excited. Megan, is this your first video call? Megan's first video call. Woo! And I see a lot of faces on here that I haven't seen in a while. So thank you guys. I'm going to get you guys off the phone. I will post the recording. Ellen, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And I will send you the recording if you need it. I will get it up as soon as possible. Okay? Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.